So, Marathon's concurrent player counts on Steam are officially falling below 50,000 players, and if you ask me, the writing is absolutely on the wall for this one. Like seriously dude, this is exactly what happens when you try to force a community into a game that nobody ever asked for. I mean, 88,000 Steam players around launch is a pretty good number, it really is. But in a vacuum, when you factor in the insane amount of money that Bungie supposedly pumped into this game, and the fact that Sony literally dropped like $4 billion to acquire the studio in the first place, yeah, it doesn't look like there's a good return there. You don't spend the cost of an entire Major League Baseball team just to pull in numbers that an indie game could hit on a random Tuesday. And talking about indie games, yeah, Slay the Spire 2 is still peaking at around 400,000 players daily. A freaking card deck builder just put the entire industry to shame. And it's just wild to me how these executives in their fancy boardrooms keep looking at these live service numbers dropping and get the surprise Pikachu face when their shiny new toys aren't the latest money printers. Like, I was just reading this article over at Polygon, where this guy talks about the so-called social staying power of Marathon, praising it like it's some revolutionary community-driven experience. And I'm sitting here scratching my head because, meanwhile, I just watched a video review from Angry Joe on Marathon, and he's saying the exact opposite. Joe was talking about how players aren't even talking in the game. They can't be bothered to even turn on a microphone. Like, the voice chat is basically a ghost town, and everyone just shoots each other on sight. There's no camaraderie, there's no cool proximity chat moments where you negotiate a truce over some loot. It's just pure sweaty tryhards treating it like a Call of Duty lobby. Oh, and skill-based matchmaking is indeed enabled, so be sure to bring about 3 sweat towels with you. And this is such a stark contrast to a game like Arc Raiders, which is still going strong right now, and seems more like a social hub for gamers to just vibe out and work together. Every other video on YouTube is of Arc Raiders players interacting with each other. And that's the thing dude, Arc Raiders managed to find this footing and build an actual community without being backed by a $4 billion acquisition from Big Daddy Sony. Embark Studios literally took a step back, looked at what gamers actually wanted out of an extraction shooter, and delivered an experience where you can actually cooperate to take down these massive mechanical bosses, instead of just getting killed on sight by some random player over and over again. It proves that gamers want to socialize in these games. Except me, I'm more the kind of person that will play an MMO like a single player RPG. But these gamers want to socialize in these games with an environment that doesn't actively encourage them to be complete degenerates to each other. They actually want to cooperate and work together. Marathon just feels like it entirely missed the mark on that front, coming across as more like a PvP shooter than anything else. But honestly, nobody wants this growing live service focus from Sony to begin with, and we see it clear as day from the overwhelmingly negative reception to the announcement of the live service Horizon game. Like, they took a gorgeous narrative-driven single-player franchise with deep lore and turned it into some bubblegum-flavored Fortnite-looking nonsense. Who is this even for? Did any Horizon fan wake up and say, gee, I really hope that I can buy a battle pass so Aloy can do the Dougie, or the Backpack Boy dance, or whatever it is kids do these days? No, nobody said that, and it just reeks of desperation from a publisher that is terrified of missing out on the live service gold rush. Even Sony's CFO, Lin Tao, had to recently admit that their live service plans are, quote, not entirely going smoothly, which is corporate speak for, we're currently setting mountains of cash on fire. And don't even get me started on Concord, because yeah, speaking of setting cash on fire, Concord is the absolute peak of modern gaming hubris. We're talking about a game that had an estimated $200 million budget, took around 8 years to develop, and literally died in 14 days. 14 days, dude. Like, Sony yanked it from the digital store shelves and shut it down in 2 weeks after its launch. and had to issue mass refunds. If I knew a game like this was gonna die that fast, I honestly would have taken a sick day from work just to play it for the hell of it. This is like a freaking speed run in game fails. It's historic. You could literally buy a carton of milk on the day that Concord launched, and the milk would have outlasted the game's servers. But hey, I guess I'm lucky I didn't play it because that's $40 and a whole lot of hard drive space I've managed to save. The core problem here is that a lot of these out-of-touch studios see a few live service games hit the jackpot and they completely lose their minds. They look at Helldivers 2 or Arc Raiders pumping money out of an oil well, and they try to hop on board the trending train. And that's about when they get the surprise Pikachu faces when gamers vote with their wallets and say, dude, we already have enough of these, we're playing them already. I mean, sure, a studio can get massive financial gains from a live service hit, but the thing is that gamers are already being pulled in 100 different directions. We don't have infinite time, and we certainly don't have infinite money. Extraction shooters and hero shooters require a constant, never-ending grind from the player to complete daily battle pass challenges, to keep leveling up, or to keep acquiring new loot. It's basically a second job. You log in and the game gives you a checklist. Kill 50 enemies with a pistol, open 10 loot crates, jump through 3 flaming hoops while reciting the alphabet backwards. It's exhausting, and there's a massive ask to try to get gamers to put down one live service game that they might have already put money and hundreds of hours into, just to tell them to redirect their focus onto your brand new unproven live service slop. If I've already invested 3 years into Destiny 2, why the heck would I abandon all my progress to start from scratch in Marathon just because Sony wants a return on their multi-billion-dollar investment? It just doesn't work that way. Gamers aren't just mindless drones who flock to whatever new shiny object the marketing team dangles in front of our faces. And I think that's why I'm always retreating back to games like Resident Evil Requiem, or whatever single-player masterpiece gets cooked up next. Like, I just bought Stellar Blade at a discount, and yeah, they look like they have a lot of buns in the oven there. But at least with a game like Resident Evil, I can just pick the game up, enjoy a pulse-pounding handcrafted story, and put it down when I want to. The game actually respects my time. I don't have to worry about missing out on a limited time cosmetic skin, and I don't have to be forced online to listen to little Timmy screaming into his microphone about his dinosaur McNuggets, all while his parents are fighting in the background. And that's what the industry is losing right now. They are obsessed with player retention and recurring revenue that they've forgotten how to just make a fun, complete video game. I mean, look at how the gaming landscape used to be. You'd buy a game, you'd play it, you'd beat it, and you'd talk about how awesome it was with all your friends. Now you buy a $40 entry ticket into the digital store that's pretending to be a video game. Because, honestly, we all know that the digital stores are the main focus of these things, and the developers drip feed you content that should have been there day one. And the craziest thing is, these studios are shutting down talented teams and laying off passionate developers just to fund these live service black holes, and it's absolutely depressing. I really do feel bad for the actual developers on the ground floor making these games, the artists, the coders, the sound designers, because I know that they put their blood, sweat, and tears into projects like Marathon and Concord, but they aren't the ones making the big decisions. The guys making the decisions are the ones looking at spreadsheets, trying to figure out how to squeeze an extra $5 out of us for a neon pink weapon charm. And until these guys learn their lesson, we're gonna keep seeing multi-million-dollar flops and server shutdowns. So yeah, Marathon might have launched with around 80,000 players, but we're already seeing the cracks forming as those numbers dip below 50,000. And with the market being as brutally oversaturated as it is now, I just don't see how Bungie pulls this out of a nosedive without completely rethinking their approach. But knowing these massive publishers, they'll probably just double down on the microtransactions just to make up for the lost player counts, alienating whatever small dedicated player base they used to have. Anyway dude, I just want to go back to playing Resident Evil and spending some time with my future wives in these Korean dating simulators. This is RageWatch, and I'm out. Thanks for watching.